I've noticed something. My timing and God's timing never matches. In fact, there's often times where I'm waiting, having patience. In fact, there's that old joke, never pray for patience, because God's going to supply that in abundance for you. Opportunities of waiting or opportunities of someone that's bugging you. And so this video is, we're going to give you 6 practical tips of how to develop patience and trust in what God's plan is. Because this is part of the development in our life for us to develop that relationship with God, and the way He transforms us is in that patience, in that waiting on the promise to actually happen. So number 1, how we can develop patience is prayer, and specifically meditation prayer, like that listening prayer. Not so much us talking to God, which I noticed we're really good at, but us actually listening. See, in that listening prayer, we can remind it of God's character. He can remind us of who we are. In fact, oftentimes when I go to listening prayer, God's telling me how much I mean to Him. And I'm remembering passages of Scripture where He tells us that we're knit in our mother's womb and we're made for purpose and a plan. And it's the character of God that can sustain us often when life doesn't look like what we wish it would. So that's number 1. Number 2, reading the Bible. Like, I quoted a couple stories, like, of looking at men and women in Scripture and see the stories of their life and how they waited and how God ultimately came through. Again, we're reminding ourselves of the character of God to sustain us when moments don't look like what they wish they would. In fact, I believe it's in 2 Corinthians, it tells us to walk by faith and not by sight. And the reason for that is because God often works in the spiritual realm before the physical realm. And this can really throw us off because it might not look like the promise is going to happen, or the things that you have prayed for are going to happen right before breakthrough does. And so reading Scripture is super important. Number 3, practice gratitude. I've noticed often when we're patiently waiting for God's plan, not so patiently waiting because we forget what He's actually given us. And so one practice that'll really help you have patience when you're waiting on God is an attitude of gratitude. And this is not something that we are passive to. This is something that we actually have something to do with it, because our minds are wired to see what we don't have, right? Like, we get used to what we have. We get used to the husband or wife that we have in our life. We get used to the house that He's given us. We get used to the car we're driving. And in the beginning, it's new and exciting, but over time, we're less grateful. And how we can develop an attitude of gratitude is that we can list every day, just what's 3 things you're grateful for? In fact, I'll wait. Think of 3 things. List them. Tell God, hey God, thank you for what He's done. For me, and you can comment below if you'd like to list those things you're grateful for. For me, right now, I'm thankful for my wife. It's the end of the school year. She's worked really hard this year, and I'm thankful for her and her missional mindset to do a job that honestly is hard at times. I'm thankful for my house. We're at my house right now. I'm recording it. It's nice. I'm thankful for my dog that's right over there. She's in a timeout because she ran through poison oak, but I'm still thankful for her. What are you thankful for? So number 4, I'll get to in just a moment, but before I do, I'd love for you to hit that thumbs up. It helps YouTube to spread this out to more people if you're getting value. It'd mean a great deal for me to do that. But number 4 is surrendering control. You know, oftentimes when we're focused on the timing of God's plan, we're wanting to control God's plan. But you and I kind of suck at that. Like having control over things we're not supposed to control. A good passage of Scripture that'll help you with this is 1 Peter 5:7. And this is where it tells us to cast our anxieties on the Lord because He cares for us. And it's just a good reminder that the timing of God is not something that you or I are in charge of. See, we're in charge of being faithful to what He's called us to do. And so reminding ourselves to surrender control can allow us to have patience. Number 5, be patient. Now, what do I mean by that? Great, thanks, Zach. the whole title is How to Develop Patience. So you're just telling me to be. Here's the thing. I've mentioned it a few times, but God's timing and our timing doesn't match. See, when you are looking for results, it's a clear sign that you're not trusting Him. See, because when we trust God, we're focused on Him and what He has for us to do today. And so just be patient. In fact, the Scripture says, never grow weary in doing good. And this is that time where, one of the formation things God does in us is while we wait on Him, we grow in patience. This is something to learn, something that you grow in. Thank the Lord, I'm a much more patient man than I am now than when I was 15 years old. Hopefully the same thing's true for your life, that this is something that you have grown in. It's something you can continue to cultivate. And in this season, you can focus on that. The patience, long suffering is a fruit of the Spirit. Okay, number 6, lean on others. This Christian walk is not something to do on our own. It's something to have community with. In fact, doing these videos are something that can be lonely and isolating. But I have a secret weapon. There's someone on the other side of this camera recording it. That's part of my community. He also edits the videos for me. And I didn't realize how much I was missing that until he's been here. And so lean on others. When you're developing patience, don't suffer in silence. Be in community. It's community often that can lift us up at our lowest moments. And in turn, we can do the same thing for them. So, lean on others. In the end, it's the character of God and trusting that over the timing of God that's required. And this is built in our time with God. And so if you do not have a consistent quiet time with God, that's something that's been hard for you, I encourage you to watch this video right here, and it'll help you have a consistent quiet time with God. Have a great day, and God bless you in your journey.